Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone enjoyed this beautiful day. It was just a great, beautiful day. It's so good to see everybody here. I'm William Harris. I am your mayor. My roots run deep here in Fuquay-Varina. I was born less than 2 miles from this very spot where I'm standing. I was raised here in Fuquay-Varina and went to school here as well. I've experienced the good and the bad of what it means to live here. I've experienced the sting of racism during a time when this town was no different than any other town in the South, struggling for its identity. I experienced the fresh healing that comes from people helping me right here in Fuquay-Varina. I have experienced and witnessed changes in Fuquay-Varina as it has grown and struggled with the demands to honor the rights of every citizen. So it's truly my honor to be standing before you tonight as the mayor of my hometown, Fuquay-Varina, to deliver the State of the Town address. First, I'd like to say we are growing. The state of Fuquay-Varina is strong, and it's growing. Growth brings responsibility. Growth, especially rapid growth, strains systems. In growing towns like Fuquay-Varina, residents often feel change is happening to them, not necessarily with them. Our job as leaders and as a community is to make sure that as we grow, we protect what makes this town, Fuquay-Varina, so special. A dash more. Tonight, I want to share the strategy to keep Fuquay-Varina a dash more. We know that responsible growth is not something that happens by accident. It's something we manage. The decisions we make today will shape what Fuquay-Varina looks like 5, 10, 20 years from now. Sometimes we have to look back to look toward the future. So we'll be looking back at our accomplishments over the past year, and more importantly, at the why behind those successes and the principles that guide us as we build a brighter future for Fuquay-Varina. More people are choosing to live here. Families are discovering what we have long known. This is a wonderful place to live, to raise children, to build a business, and to thrive. Every year, more people choose to call Fuquay-Varina home. They come for the quality of life we value here in Fuquay-Varina, which are safe neighborhoods, thriving local businesses, beautiful parks, and most of all, a sense of community. But that opportunity comes with responsibility. Today, our town stands at an important moment in history. As a new mayor of a mid-sized town like Fuquay-Varina, I realized that my first year is a real opportunity to set priorities that produce visible results, to build a long-term momentum as we move forward. But before we dive in, I'd like to introduce the dedicated individuals who serve alongside me on the town board. I'd like to introduce Mayor Pro Tem Marilyn Gardner, Commissioner Charlie Adams, Commissioner Brian Haynes, Commissioner Chris Voren, and Commissioner Larry Smith. Fuquay-Varina also has many citizen boards that contribute time and talent to our town. I'd like to acknowledge those members of the Planning and Zoning Board. If you're here, would you please stand? Members of the Board of Adjustment, member of the Fuquay-Varina Downtown Association. Oh, welcome. Members of the Chamber of Commerce. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. We're happy to see all of you here. We appreciate it. Let's give them a hand. Well, we have an exciting video for you tonight, and without further delay, you will get a chance to debut our year's video, which recaps the town of Fuquay-Varina's accomplishments and progress from the year 2025. So get your cameras ready as we travel on a special trip.
In this vast and ever-changing habitat, life unfolds in steady rhythms guided by instinct, routine, and the pursuit of essential nutrients. Creatures of all kinds, including commuters, first responders, and families on the move, navigate their environment with purpose, resilience, and the occasional dramatic sigh. Today, we observe a year of extraordinary adaptation and remarkably organized progress. Welcome to the wilds of Fuquay-Varina. Watch now the daily commute. A majestic migration that unfolds like clockwork. No doubt due to completing 6 major transportation projects with 5 more on the way, a carefully coordinated effort rarely witnessed in the wild. $8.1 million in grant funding helps to ensure the continued growth of this thriving urban ecosystem. Few species display devotion like the guardians of Fuquay-Varina, ever vigilant, ever prepared. The fire department achieved the nearly mythological ISO Class 1 rating, a rare signal that training is strong, equipment is ready, water supply is reliable, and emergency response across the community is exceptional. For residents, this level of preparedness often means lower homeowner insurance premiums. Even the most cautious homeowners approve. The police department earned CALEA accreditation, achieved by fewer than 1% of agencies nationwide. This distinction reflects rigorous standards in training, policy oversight, and accountability, helping to ensure safer and more trustworthy policing throughout the territory, especially in high-density pedestrian regions. To support these guardians, the town invested $3.89 million in 4 new fire engines, machines so polished, fingerprints are strongly discouraged. Quiet. If you're careful, you'll see that a study is now underway to determine the future habitat of the police department. Researchers observe carefully, mindful of the delicate balance between officer and pastry. This year also marks the 100th anniversary of the fire department. 100 years of service, resilience, and exceptionally strong boots. Every flourishing domain depends on water. Flowing beneath the surface, unseen but essential, much like the internet router no one remembers until it stops working. Major facilities continued toward completion. The Terrible Creek expansion in 2027, the Sanford Water Plant expansion, and the Harnett County expansion in 2028, a patient, methodical ballet of pipes. In 2026, a 17-mile conveyance line will be bid, ensuring reliable water delivery across the ecosystem. And soon, Fuquay-Varina will raise a 1 million-gallon elevated tank, improving water pressure and providing a sweeping view of the surrounding region. Oh, look, a familiar and quaint creature emerges. The weekenders excite us, drawn instinctively to McWally's Entertainment Center, where jobs are created, generating revenue and inspiring competitive bowling stances previously unseen. Some approach this ritual casually, others with a level of intensity researchers are still trying to understand. Nearby, Aviator Brewery spreads its wings across 60,000 square feet, becoming a popular gathering point within the downtown habitat. Target arrives in March of 2026, restoring balance to the shopping ecosystem. Migration experts advise a measured approach, as these structures were not designed for vehicular entry. A new WakeMed Healthplex will serve more than 9,300 patients annually, often following the universally recognized call of the wild. Hey, to you all, witness this.
Hey, y'all watch this!
A 91-room True by Hilton rises next, offering a reliable resting place for traveling families and migrating grandparents. Academy Village begins to take shape, home to the future Lowe's Foods, significantly shortening the distance between residents and well-planned dinners. Life here is not just growing, it is prospering, supported by a remarkably active population. Adults remain highly active within the habitat, often rediscovering muscles they forgot existed. Creative expression flourishes as residents explore talents they always suspected were there. Or maybe not. The Hilltop Needmore Town Park Community Center quickly became a thriving hub, expanding opportunities for all ages. Deep in the concrete jungle, a familiar migration occurs twice each year, the Food Truck Rodeo, drawing thousands to the Varina parking lot, where nearly 40 food and beverage vendors gather. And these inhabitants observe the lioness. She raises her head. Out of fear? No. She extends a warm welcome to a cold pint. Her and all locals have learned to graze peacefully. As participation grows and new initiatives take shape, financial strength remains steady. Supported by careful planning and discipline, national recognition for budget excellence and the continued preservation of AAA bond rating stand as evidence of that balance. As our expedition concludes, we witness a community not merely surviving, but booming. In the wilds of Fuquay-Varina, cooperation shapes the terrain as surely as time itself. Here, progress is not an accident, it is a natural phenomenon.
Great job, great job. As more people have come in, I'd like to also represent Friends of the Arts Center, if you are here, as well as members of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. If you're here, would you please stand? Thank you. And members of the Black History Stakeholders Group, if anyone is here. And I'd like to recognize the most important person to me in Fuquay-Varina, my wife, Mita. Glad you're here. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank all of you for being here tonight. I really, really appreciate your presence. It means such a great deal. As you just saw, 2025 was a year of remarkable progress. But what truly makes Fuquay-Varina special isn't just what we accomplish, but how we accomplish it. It's the spirit of working together with a shared commitment to building a brighter future for everyone. And let me be clear, the success of this town does not come from the mayor or the commissioners alone. It comes from residents who care about their neighborhoods, volunteers who give of their time, business owners who invest here, teachers, public safety personnel, fire and police officers, and other professionals, and community leaders who serve every day. We have great volunteer examples such as the Fuquay-Varina Jeep Club, who make sure that for the past few years, all of us commissioners have had an opportunity to ride in the Christmas parade. The vision shared by the town board, our management team, and every member of our staff is to see Fuquay-Varina thrive as a dynamic, welcoming, and caring community where opportunity and a sense of belonging are within reach for us all. That future is guided by our strategic plan. It's a compelling vision that outlines our future progress. Building on years of success, this plan charts our course for the next 5 years, ensuring we continue to deliver on our promise of an exceptional quality of life here in Fuquay-Varina. We're deeply committed to fostering economic and cultural opportunities, ensuring the safety and security of our neighborhoods, and delivering exceptional municipal services, all contributing to an unmatched quality of life. And we're driven by a simple yet powerful mission to improve life, one initiative at a time, always striving to be a dash more, always striving to be that quality city with a small town feel. So tonight I want to share how we're living up to that commitment through the core values that guide us. They were included in the video. I'll go over them again. The core values are quality of life, an effective government and governance, safety and security, economic vitality, preserving character and identity, and of course, fiscal strength. We are committed to building a Fuquay-Varina where quality of life isn't just a standard, but it's a source of pride. In the coming year, we'll be investing in that vision to protect our quality of life by revitalizing South Park Community Center, expanding recreational opportunities at Fleming Loop, and planning a new park near Willow Spring Elementary School. And this fall, we'll celebrate the completion of the Alston Ridge Greenway. This year, we will also advance $57 million in transportation infrastructure projects to include road, sidewalk expansion, traffic flow improvements, and park maintenance. We are committed to protecting our green spaces as well, our parks and natural resources, and encouraging mixed-use development so that people have the opportunity to live in and or near downtown, thus reducing traffic and preserving our town's character. In the area of effective government, we are committed to a government that is open, accountable, and responsive to the needs of our citizens. For us, effective governance means serving the people of Fuquay-Varina with honesty, integrity, efficiency, accountability, and transparency. As our community grows, so do the demands for services and facilities. That's why we'll be breaking ground on the Public Service Center expansion, exploring options to expand the police department facility, and beginning the planning for a 5th fire station. With a dedicated staff of approximately 400 employees, these investments are vital to maintaining the service levels our residents expect and deserve. In the area of safety and security, feeling safe in our homes and neighborhoods is fundamental, and the town's commitment to safety and security has always been unwavering. We will continue to invest in our police department and fire personnel by providing them with the resources, the equipment, and training necessary to maintain Fuquay-Varina's reputation as one of the safest towns in North Carolina. Utilities are also a top priority. We're making strategic investments in modern water and wastewater infrastructure, hundreds of millions of dollars in critical projects to ensure access to these vital resources now and for generations to come. In the area of economic vitality is critical. It's critical to sustaining our quality of life and funding the services our residents deserve. This year, we will be updating our economic development strategic plan, building on the success of the past 5 years, and working on attracting high-tech, high-wage jobs and bringing conferences and conventions to Fuquay-Varina. A key priority this year will be hiring an economic development director to lead these efforts and help us build a more diversified and prosperous future. The town appreciates our strong partnerships with the Fuquay-Varina Chamber of Commerce and the Fuquay-Varina Downtown Association and their work to continuously attract and retain businesses and to encourage entrepreneurship. We look forward to continuing this collaboration. In the area of preserving character and identity, Fuquay-Varina's unique charm and rich history are at the heart of what makes our town special. We are committed to retaining a strong sense of community that defines us. Our historic downtown districts are the heart of our identity. Preserving their charm while encouraging thoughtful revitalization is a priority. This means continuing our strong partnership again with the Fuquay-Varina Downtown Association, establishing clear downtown maintenance standards, undertaking a downtown streetscape study to improve our downtown environment, and upholding the guiding principles of our land use plan. In the area of fiscal strength, as you know, is essential for a thriving Fuquay-Varina. This town, this board, and town management are committed to making smart, strategic investments that benefit our community for years to come and protect taxpayers' dollars. Our exceptional budgeting practices have earned us numerous awards, and we proudly maintain the highest quality bond rating from both Standard & Poor's and Moody's Investors Services, ensuring our town remains financially stable and resilient. We recognize that growth must serve everyone. It's a big challenge. Fuquay-Varina isn't just growing. We are building a future rooted in those principles outlined tonight: quality of life, effective governance, safety and security, economic vitality, fiscal strength, and the preservation of our unique character. These values aren't simply aspirations. They are the cornerstone and the roadmap for a brighter future. We envision a Fuquay-Varina where opportunity thrives, where families feel safe, and where our sense of community grows stronger with each passing year, where there is a balanced range of housing to include workforce housing, starter housing, and senior-friendly living, where there is a strong community culture that supports community events, cultural festivals, downtown events that promote foot traffic and connection in public spaces, i.e. the Fuquay-Varina Arts Center, Farmers Market, and outdoor dining spaces. We also have this vision, and we look for where there is a focus on what residents experience daily, like traffic congestion. And we're looking at how to move people through and around town safely, whether they are driving, walking, biking, or traveling to work and to school. We envision a town where we maintain strong relationships between the mayor and the town board and the residents, and we encourage civic pride in our community. We envision a town where we support small businesses and local entrepreneurs. We create walkable commercial and retail space where we continue to coordinate and collaborate with other levels of government and encourage partnerships to attract environmentally safe commercial industries that fit our community values. And lastly, we are committed to building a community where everyone feels they belong. Our diversity is one of our strengths. The future of Fuquay-Varina will be shaped by people from different backgrounds, different ideas, and different stories, all working together to build a better town. This isn't a vision that town government can realize on its own. It demands the energy, the ideas, and the dedication of all of us. Our goal is simple: to grow responsibly, to protect our quality of life, and to leave this town better for the next generation. I'm optimistic about where we're headed, because when I look at our community, I see people who care deeply about this place we call home. And that gives me the confidence in the future of our town. If we remain focused on these strategies, the state of Fuquay-Varina will remain strong, not just today, but for generations to come. So thank you for your trust, your engagement, and your commitment to this remarkable community. I'm incredibly proud to serve as your mayor, and I'm confident that together, guided by these principles and our strategic plan, we can build a Fuquay-Varina that truly stands apart, a town that is dynamic, welcoming, caring, and always a dash more. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you all very much. Thank you all for being here tonight. We will break for a few minutes to reset the room for tonight's board meeting. You're welcome to stay, but thank you again for your attendance. We'll take a break now.
He is all in.
Good evening, everyone. It's good to see so many people here. We certainly welcome you to our meeting this evening, and I'm going to call the meeting to order. Our first order of business is the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. I've asked Mayor Pro Tem Marilyn Gardner to give us our invocation, and Commissioner Chris Vorum will do our Pledge of Allegiance. Let us please stand.
Let's bow. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity for us again together to serve our town and gather in your love. We thank you for all the many blessings we celebrate tonight as we review this year that has just passed. We are so blessed, and we give you the credit and give you the glory. Dear Lord, we ask your direction and that you continue to hold this wonderful community in your arms as we look forward to another year of challenges and celebrations. We thank you for the leadership that we have in place, and we all ask your guidance as we move forward. Please bless us in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Pledge of Allegiance. All right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Thank you. At this time, I will ask Town Manager Adam Mitchell to review the meeting protocol for public participation as it relates to this meeting. So please give him your attention.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. Is this on here? There you go. Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, board members. It's good to be with you tonight. Tonight's town board meeting is both in person and live streamed on the town's YouTube channel and Facebook page. Tonight's meeting contains a public comment period and one scheduled public hearing. The public is invited to comment in person. When it is the appropriate time, Mayor Harris will call on those wishing to address the town board. All attendees that have appeared in person to address the town board during the public comment period should provide your name and address on the green registration sheet by the podium prior to the public comment period beginning. All attendees that have appeared in person to address the town board during the scheduled public hearing should provide your name and address on the white registration sheet by the podium. We ask all those wishing to address the town board, either during the public comment period or a scheduled public hearing, to begin their comments by clearly stating their name and address for the public record. The public is asked to keep all comments to 3 minutes so that all that wish to speak may be heard in a timely manner. To be respectful of those that may have different views on matters addressed by the town board, we ask that all in attendance respect the decorum of the meeting by refraining from clapping, making loud noises, and generally showing support or displeasure for comments made during the public comment period or public hearings. Police Chief Smith will be asked to escort from the boardroom anyone not respecting the process, and it is the discretion of the mayor as presiding officer to continue the public comment and or public hearing period if the meeting protocol is not followed. And this concludes the protocol for tonight's meeting.
Thank you very much, Town Manager Mitchell. Our next item of business is item 3A, approval of the minutes for the February 17th, 2026 Town Board of Commissioners regular scheduled meeting and the February 5th through 7th, 2026 Town Board Planning Retreat. Do I hear a motion to approve those minutes?
Mayor, I move to approve the minutes of the February 17th, 2026 Town Board of Commissioners regular scheduled meeting and the February 5th through 7th, 2026 Town Board Planning Retreat.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconds that the minutes be approved. All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you so much. The next item is item 4A, presentation and resolution, law enforcement retirement, police K-9 dash. Chief Smith.
Mayor, Commissioners, it certainly is good to be here this evening.
Tonight brings some excitement, but also a little bit of sadness. As you can see, we have Police Canine Dash with us here tonight, who is being recognized for his retirement and honored for his outstanding and distinguished service to the Fuquay-Varina Police Department and community. So Dash is going to turn 10 years old this year, and the police department recommends his retirement effective today, March 9th, 2026. So Dash was acquired by the town in September 20 of 2017 and is the first canine in the history of the Fuquay-Varina Police Department, and that is one of the things that makes this retirement so special. This was accomplished during Chief Laura Fonstock's tenure, who established the canine program. Dash has served for 8.5 years with the Fuquay-Varina Police Department and has formed an exceptional and effective partnership with Corporal Matthew Jessless, who is his handler. During their time together, they have responded to over 360 incidents, completed over 940 hours of training, participated in more than 45 canine demonstrations and community presentations, assisted other agencies on over 30 calls, seized over 760 grams of narcotics during service, responsible for a seizure of over $3,500 in illegal proceeds, and successfully tracked and apprehended numerous fleeing suspects, contributing to community safety. Dash's presence enhanced public safety and strengthened department-community relationships. He and Corporal Jessless served as positive ambassadors during community events and educational demonstrations. So tonight, I would like to hand out a few awards. One will be to Canine Dash for his service, and one will be to Corporal Jessless and Canine Dash for their partnership and what they have done to help make Fuquay-Varina a safer place. So tonight, Dash is being awarded the Community Service Commendation and Ribbon, Canine Ribbon, 5-year Service Ribbon, CALIA Ribbon, the U.S. Flag Ribbon, and the Police Commendation Ribbon. So this is what we have for Canine Dash tonight.
Beautiful.
So that'll be for you. And then also, as I mentioned, Corporal Jessless and Canine Dash will be receiving the Police Commendation, which is one of our awards within the police department, for their teamwork in making Fuquay-Varina a safer place.
Oh, great.
And before I begin with my comments, because I do have some other things to say, I know Corporal Jessless had a few comments that he would like to make and address Mayor and the board.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I just want to thank Chief Smith and his administration and former Police Chief Fonstock and her administration for all the support of the K-9 program. It's one thing to have a dog in town, but to have the leadership support you and the needs as the dog develops through training and equipment means a lot. Additionally, to all the police officers here and the police department employees, thank you for being supporters of Dash and myself. As we grew and as we were out there working, having a dog is a great tool, but if the officers don't believe the value the dog adds, it doesn't do anything. So having officers call us to assist and having those officers be willing to train with us and really just consider how canines can become part of the operation and like the boots on the ground aspect means a great deal to us. If you look at our canine program from about a 30,000-foot overlook, we're a relatively young program. Other agencies have 1 dog, 2 dogs, 8+ dogs, and those agencies have handlers. They've been working dogs for 15+ years. They've selected dogs, they've trained dogs, they've retired dogs, and tonight retiring our first dog as a town that's had a successful and a full working life is something to celebrate, and hopefully that'll be a platform for the K-9 program to continue to grow on, is the experience and hopefully maybe even eventually the expansion of it. To the board and the town, thank you for your support. I know it means a great deal to Dash and I. You may not see it as much as the police officers do as his impact, but we know that you guys supporting us and supporting the budget needs for the canines and all those other considerations, it means a lot to us. So thank you for that continued support. To the citizens and the community members, Chief Smith read some of those stats, so just rest assured, if you see a police canine Fuquay-Varina cruiser, just know we're working hard to protect you, your property, and bringing to justice anybody that thinks they can commit crimes or run away without consequences, and that's part of our job. So just know that we're out there working hard for you. And additionally, thank you for your support as a community. From the very start of it, raising money to get the necessary equipment like a vest and a first aid bag, and then inviting us to be part of your lives through the community demonstrations. It's really great to have a dog with a great name like Dash be the first one to retire, but just be a part of the community so much. Having a canine is like any other piece of special equipment that we have. You can't lock it in a locker or put it on the charger and just wait until the next time you need it. It's a living, breathing animal. It's with us 24/7. So I would be remiss if I didn't thank my family for their support. My wife, Jenna, and my 3 sons, they have taken just as much of the sacrifice as I have by having Canine Dash and a canine with us in our backyard, taking care of it every single day, the training that's needed to go into it, the call-outs, the staying late at work, all those things. So thank you to my family for being supportive to our needs, but also to allow me to pursue one of my goals of working a canine. Lastly, of all the stats that Chief Smith shared, there's one that is very hard to record, and it doesn't show up on any budget or any stat sheet or any monthly report, and that's when an officer's on the side of the road in the middle of the night with the subject, and that person may not be showing it, but they're thinking about assaulting that officer. They're thinking about fighting, they're thinking about running. But then they see that car with the canine sticker on it, or they hear that canine bark from the back seat, and they change their mind because they know what the canines are capable of and how well trained they are and everything that goes into it, and they say, I'm not going to take my chance tonight. I'm not going to assault that officer. I'm not going to try to run. And to me and my family, that means the world, and it's worth its weight in gold. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Corporal Jessless. As you can see, there's a lot of Dash fans standing behind me. They love Dash. He's definitely bring us a lot of joy, and he's done a great job. And he has lived up to the town's slogan, he has been a Dash more. So I would just like to express gratitude to Canine Dash and Corporal Jessless for their service and contributions to the town. It is not easy being a canine handler. Like Corporal Jessless said, they are with the dogs 24/7. They care for them, they bathe them, they brush them, they exercise them, they do everything. So there's a lot of hard work that goes into it and a lot of dedication. I'd like to wish Dash a happy, restful, and well-deserved retirement. And under North Carolina General Statute 17F-21, the statute provides the option for a retired service animal's custody to be transferred to the officer who was primarily responsible for the animal's care. Corporal Jessless meets all requirements under the law and has formally requested to adopt Dash upon retirement. And I would like to go ahead and read that resolution. Whereas Canine Dash began his service with the town of Fuquay-Varina on September 20th, 2017, and whereas after 8.5 years of distinguished service to the town of Fuquay-Varina and the Fuquay-Varina Police Department, Dash will retire effective March 9th, 2026, and whereas North Carolina General Statute 17F-21 provides that a unit of local government may transfer ownership of the animal when the service animal is no longer needed for public service, and whereas Matthew Jessless had normal custody and control of the service animal during the service animal's public service to the unit of local government. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of the town of Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina, the following: Matthew Jessless is hereby awarded ownership of the following service animal: Dash, German Shepherd, born on September 3rd, 2016, for the price of $1. This resolution of the Town of Fuquay-Varina Board of Commissioners is hereby adopted this 9th day of March in the year 2026 in Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina, and will be signed by William Harris, Mayor of Fuquay-Varina. So tonight there is a recommended motion, and that motion, the recommended motion is to adopt the resolution awarding ownership of K-9 Dash to Corporal Matthew Jessless upon Dash's retirement from the Town of Fuquay-Varina as presented and recommended.
Do I hear a motion to that?
So move. Second.
It's been moved and second that the ownership of K-9 Dash to Corporal Matthew Jessless upon Dash's retirement from the Town of Fuquay-Varina as presented and recommended. Do I hear all those in favor of the motion? Let it be known by saying aye, unless there's any further discussion.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Good. Motion passes. Okay,
Thank you so much.
Chief? Chief, I have some gifts for Dash. I'd like to, real nice gifts. That's for his plate. A little food to eat. And as well as something to chew on. Now, I would present it to Dash, but I don't think that would be proper. I'm not going to shake Dash's hand, so would you give that to him? Oh, he knows. He's wagging his tail. He knows. He's looking at that bag.
Wow, he is really following it back.
That is great. The next item is item 4B, recognition of the 2026 Winterfest competition, the Police Department Law Enforcement Explorers. Chief Smith, you're up again. Thank you.
Come on up, guys. We got a lot more in attendance tonight, too. We're celebrating something else special, so.
Great. That's great. That's good.
So tonight we're going to recognize our law enforcement explorers who recently attended the Winterfest 2026 competition in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, February 6th through the 8th. They competed in 5 scenario-based events and 1 physical fitness challenge. And just to clear up any suspense, we didn't come in last in any single event.
Okay.
It was a good thing.
All right.
They actually did exceptionally well. A few of the achievements, and I'm going to ask them to raise their hand when I call their name out. We got 2nd place in the accident investigation, and that team was made up of Alex, Easton, Harper, and Riley.
Okay.
One of you just hold that for me. We also got 2nd place in crisis negotiations, and that team was made up of Rylan, Harper, Imani, and Molly.
Okay, great.
So that was a fantastic job. And we got another plaque to put on the wall. And then, out of the physical fitness results, there were 77 participants in the men's competition, and Blake got 10th place.
All right.
Caden, my son, got 17th.
All right.
Very proud of him. Cullen got 20th, and Easton got 34th. So they did very well. Very proud of them.
Great. That's good.
In the women's competition, there were 45 participants, and Harper placed 5th.
All right.
Des placed 17th,
All right.
and Maggie placed 22nd.
Okay.
So again, very, very proud of them for that. The Law Enforcement Explorers program is not only a source of pride for the department, but an essential investment in the future of policing in our community. The program provides hands-on, real-world training and leadership opportunities preparing young men and women to become the next generation of law enforcement professionals. The Explorer program is a powerful recruiting tool. Currently, we have 7 of our town's police officers who were once explorers themselves, exemplifying the program's effectiveness in developing dedicated and capable public servants. This is all great information, and we're all celebrating it. However, these achievements would not be possible without the dedication of the Fuquay-Varina Police Department staff, who devote their time to instruct and mentor our explorers every week. A special thanks to Captain Richard Connerly, Lieutenant Anthony Hodges, Lieutenant Brett Kane, Sergeant Megan Doxey, Master Officer Anna Garino, and Officer Bryce Rosty, who commit their time every week and then some to make this happen right here. So thank you for your dedication to the Explorers program. I am so proud of everybody. Congratulations to our explorers for their determination and outstanding performance. Their hard work today is shaping law enforcement leaders of tomorrow. We look forward to seeing even more explorers join our ranks as sworn officers in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. If y'all want to come up here and wrap it around and face back this way.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. That's great. Congratulations, everybody. Proud of you.
All in the back, short in the front.
Yes, please.
Can you?
I can see Susan.
Okay, you good then. Thank you all very much. Thank you all very much. Item 4C is the National Procurement Month. I have a resolution, a proclamation here that I will read. Procurement is the essential process through which our government secures the goods and services that directly impact the quality of life for Fuquay-Varina residents. I'll let them. Whereas effective and efficient procurement practices are crucial to maximizing the value of public funds, fostering transparency, accountability, and trust in government, and promoting fair competition and innovation. And whereas National Procurement Month offers a unique opportunity to highlight the vital role that procurement professionals play in ensuring the successful delivery of public services, and to recognize their dedication, expertise, and commitment to excellence. And whereas the town of Fuquay-Varina is committed to promoting transparency, accountability, and good governance in all aspects of our operation, with procurement playing a vital and key role. Now, therefore, I, William H. Harris, Mayor of the town of Fuquay-Varina, do hereby proclaim March 2026 as National Procurement Month in Fuquay-Varina and express our sincere gratitude to our procurement professionals for their hard work and dedication, while encouraging all citizens to join us in acknowledging the significant contributions they make to our town's success. Thank you so much for those of you who are in the procurement profession. If you are, would you please stand? Anyone here?
Mr. Mayor, we have with us tonight Tiffany Marshman, who is our procurement manager for the town, purchasing manager for the town, and
Okay.
of course, Mark, our finance director, and perhaps they would be willing to get a photo with the town board for procurement month.
Please come on. Sure, certainly. Thank you all so much for what you do. Yes. Thank you, so important. Thank you. Appreciate what you do. Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Y'all make sure you get that $1 for Dash.
That was good, Charlie. Thank you all so much. That was good, Charlie. Okay. All right, now we move to item 5, public comments. At this time, the town clerk will call on individuals that are in attendance and have registered to address the town board prior to the meeting. The public comment period is a time for the public to address the town board about any matter that is not the subject of a scheduled public hearing. Those speaking are asked to begin by clearly stating your name and address for the public record. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes in order that all who wish to speak may be heard in a timely manner. Town Clerk Wilder, do we have anyone signed up for public comments?
Yes, we have 2 people. I'm not.
All right. I believe tennis.
You think so?
I think so. It's a nice racket.
I know, it's a big racket.
Boy, I would hate to volley you with that racket.
I know. It's a conversation piece for sure.
Got a big sweet spot.
It's Laura Wyant, and I'm at 300 Benwell Court. Good evening. Thanks for having me. I'm Laura Wyant with Western Wake Tennis Association. We're the nonprofit organization whose mission is to promote the spirit and growth of tennis in Western Wake County, which includes Fuquay-Varina. A couple things that I wanted to talk about. The first thing is that tennis is arguably the healthiest sport on the planet, and I say that because of the research that's been done. It provides many physical, mental, and social benefits. My favorite research studies show that tennis players live on average 9.7 years longer than somebody who's sedentary. That was the #1 activity, and that's just playing 2 to 3 times per week. The next activity down was badminton, also a racket sport at 6.2, but still 3 years less than tennis. Another thing that's really important about tennis is, or just in understanding tennis, is that it's much more of a program sport versus a walk-up sport, more like soccer and baseball. And I think Fuquay-Varina has done a really good job of doing some programming for youth tennis, and now you're also adding abilities tennis, which is tennis for intellectually disabled athletes, and it's an amazing program, and you should be proud of that. Western Wake Tennis does help you find volunteers for that, because a lot of volunteers are needed. You also have a very large senior group. Tennis is for five-year-old to 95 plus. You've got a very large senior group that plays tennis on your courts. You do have courts that I would consider unprogrammable, just because there's no restrooms available, and we would never program on anything that doesn't have restrooms. The high school courts that you have joint use, there's a lot of courts, but they're really better for just walk-up play. And I know the senior group does use those courts. There is a ton of growth and demand for tennis, and if you see empty tennis courts, I hope you don't think that there's no demand for it. It just means that they're not programmed. So I know you're growing a lot here in Fuquay-Varina, but tennis is also growing. And I have a statistic here that I think that will prove the demand. And that is in 2019, your neighbor in Holly Springs at their Ting Park 8 facility court had 25 adult league teams, and each adult league team has 13 to 15 players. So that's pretty good. 2025, they had 99 adult league teams. That's a 400% growth. And unfortunately, the people in Fuquay-Varina need to leave Fuquay-Varina because there's really no courts available, because you really don't have many programmed courts for programming. But I have good news. If you consider building a programmable facility, and I would consider a 6 to 8 court facility programmable, USTA does come in with money, and I just saw a report today that Sandusky, Ohio got $200,000 for 6 courts. And in this area, we have Southern that would also give you money, so I would expect somewhere from $200,000 to $300,000 to do a 6-court facility. And then you're going to add 9.7 years to people's lives, and I am going to follow up by email. So anyway, thanks for letting me speak.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate all that you do. Thank you. Mm-hmm. I see you had some friends back. Would you please stand if you are with Miss from the Western?
Your tennis.
Were people here with you? Yeah. All right, great. Thank you very much for coming. I really appreciate it. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have Ray O'Brien.
Ray? Yeah, thank you.
Ray O'Brien at 468 Timber Meadow Lake Drive here in Fuquay. Mr. Mayor and board members, I'm mostly here for 2 reasons. One, we've talked a lot about quality of life tonight, and that's something that me and my volunteers work on all the time for the citizens of Fuquay with the food pantry. So tonight we have our director and our co-directors both present tonight, and many of our volunteers that are also here tonight, but they're actually a very small amount compared to the number of volunteers that we have, over 50 that work at the food pantry all the time. So if they would stand up and at least be recognized.
Oh yes, oh yes. Yeah. Yes, thank you.
And the reason we're all here is because there's a motion that you all have tonight to rezone our area. We've acquired some property we needed to get rezoned so that we can build our own food pantry. We've been 25 years in the building we're in that we've been leasing, and it's quite old and very small for our needs, way too small for our needs, because we've outgrown it in the last 25 years. So I just wanted to address that, and we're all here to support that, and so we can cheer when that motion passes. So thank you very much for your time, and good luck to you all.
Thank
you. Good night.
Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Anyone else, Madam Clerk?
No.
Okay. Now we'll move to item 6A, Conceptual Design Selection Library Park. Director Cox. Jonathan, thank you.
Good evening, Board. The purpose of this agenda item is to consider the selection of a preferred conceptual design for Library Park. The Armed Services Memorial Concept 3 was recommended by management and staff at the Town Board's February 17th meeting. At that time, the Town Board tabled conceptual design selection to allow additional time for consideration. Concept 3 will improve the user experience at Library Park through the addition of amenities, while reflecting the community's desire for unprogrammed community gathering spaces in downtown Fuquay. In addition, this concept provides the opportunity to honor military veterans and those that have made sacrifices for the country, something requested in community feedback for this master plan as well in park facility master planning processes in recent years. Management and staff recommend selection of Design Concept 3 and advancing this design development to construction drawings. This recommendation is made subject to the town board desiring to make the necessary level of an investment to achieve the proposed investment. As a fiscal note, the town board established a project budget of $1 million in FY25 for design and enhancements to Library Park. $214,000 has been committed to the Library Park design. An additional $1,150,000 is anticipated to be required to complete construction. Construction costs will be refined during the design process, and funding will be identified in the FY27 budget. The recommendation by motion is to approve Concept 3, the Armed Services Memorial, as a recommended final conceptual design for Library Park project as presented and recommended. And I'll be happy to answer any questions the board might have.
Any questions for Director Cox in regards to the Library Park conceptual plan? Any comments?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. You know, since we've had time to think about, look at all the concepts, think about, hear from the community as well. Just for me, this is me speaking, not anybody else. I think it would be best if we just, because I heard the concerns of 2 of our board members and some other community members about this park. You know, we want something there, but I don't think we are right now ready to decide fully what needs to go there. I think now one issue I know needs to happen is that the structure there needs to be repaired. So I would suggest fixing the shelter there, and since we are continuing to acquire property and look at our Piney Woods park, and long term looking at having to find a temporary place for our Follow Me to Fuquay, I think we should push some of that money that was allotted to the Library Park over to the Piney Woods project for another project. I know I was talking to management and other people about, I know sooner or later we'll be demolishing some of the buildings there and having an amazing walkway that goes down between the buildings to walk up to a temporary park would be an amazing feature right here on our main street. So those are a few of my thoughts. I don't know what everybody else has to say, but those are a few of my thoughts.
Any other comments?
Well, Mark Matthews and I attend the meetings of the Museum Board of Directors, since I am liaison between the town and that town board and that board, and Mark has been a staff person liaison there that's been very helpful too. We did mention to them that, you know, that it was on the agenda and talked a little bit about it, and their comments were very positive. I just wanted to say that, and we mentioned to them that there was an idea that it might be a military recognition opportunity there, and there were very positive comments about that too. So I would like to relay those things from the museum board. I think they liked the idea of, you know, more places in our downtown area for people who are spending time downtown to be able to sit and spend time and, you know, more passive things going on to, you know, just to offer those opportunities for people to meet and greet one another as they enjoy our downtown. So I just wanted to be sure to mention that we did bring that to that board and there were positive comments.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Any other comments?
Also, Mr. Mayor, this is Brian Haynes speaking again, put that on the record. I just feel like I love the military memorial. You know, I want to see that happen in Fuquay because it's needed. But I just feel like Library Park is not a suitable place for it for me. I think it needs, I have some other suggestions where it could go. I feel like that's a little too congested to be able to have, say, a celebration or something if we did want to have something for our veterans. So I think I want the Veteran Memorial, and I'm here to support the Veteran Memorial, but I think we should find another location for it.
Kind of, I'll give you some comments.
Commissioner Adcock, any?
I'm kind of in a similar mindset, I think, as Commissioner Haynes, and kind of where I'm at. We had two very different concepts, and I just don't feel like either one was right. And so we've come up with this third concept, and you know, to me, it feels a little forced. And for a spot as important as downtown, I don't want to force it. I think we need to do something similar to what Commissioner Haynes said. It's basically, let's back off from it for a while. We do need to stabilize the shelter and do some things, but I'd rather just focus on some other parks. We've got more stuff for parks than we've got money. And if we've got something everybody's not feeling really positive about or convinced, I say let's just hold off for a little while. I think Piney Woods Park, we know that the Centennial Park's going to go away, and we need a place for our concerts. And so we can start preparing that for the future. As far as the Veterans Memorial, I'm not sure the best location for it, but I think we need to do a better job of involving some of our veterans, and specifically the American Legion is the largest American Legion post in the state of North Carolina, and I think we need more feedback from them just to make sure that we're not doing something that wouldn't be appropriate. So to me, because of those things, I feel like I'd rather put this on hold, I'd say for a year, and revisit it next year, and allocate the funds that we've got set aside towards something like the Piney Woods Park. That's where I'm
at. I would just, I've already said something, but I would like to say one more thing, and that is that for that space, if I do think that it's important that we stabilize or replace that aging shelter, because it is used. There are a lot of people have, they plan their own little meetings there and lunch. Everybody brings their lunch and they celebrate a birthday party or something, and that goes on all the time. So I would like to see us use that spot, just if we could just put some places for people to hang out or spend time together, just some seating. We don't have enough places in our downtown for people to just sit and enjoy, and I know we got a big plan for getting a lot of that, but in the meantime we probably need to put some tables and seats and some things that people just might enjoy in the meantime. And maybe not put a lot of money into a big plan, but just try to capture that, try to serve that need.
Okay. Any other comment, Commissioner Smith, Commissioner Varner?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I tend to agree with what I've heard been said so far tonight. The concept that our Parks and Recreation Department has presented is very nice, but I'm concerned at one of the points that was raised that we are going to have to, sooner rather than later, reallocate some space for our very successful concert series. I think that's something that's going to be, I ain't going to say unexpected, but we're going to have to do something to make that happen. As to the memorial, the military memorial, I was having conversations with people back when I was police chief wanting us to do something, and I think we have to do something sooner rather than later. But again, I think I share the same concerns that Commissioner Haynes and Commissioner Adcock have, that is this the right place for it? And so if you take that out, then we've got an incomplete plan here that I don't think I'd be ready to vote for yet.
And so, and then the last thing that was said, I think, by one of the other commissioners is that we have a lot of competing needs in Parks and Recreation right now. And while we're doing well, as the mayor presented in our State of the Town address, it is, I think money can be tight sometimes trying to hit every single one of these parks that we want to hit. So I think we have an immediate need to fix the parts that need repair there, but also we need to quickly start planning where we're going to start having concerts at. And like I say, maybe put this off a little, because we definitely want to upgrade that park, but now might not be the best time when we all haven't quite agreed to what it needs to look like. Okay. So I think I would join in with those two commissioners, Commissioner Adcock and Commissioner Haynes, and saying maybe we should hold off temporarily, not for a very long time, and maybe come back, have time to discuss a military veterans memorial, maybe look at some other locations, but also look at what we're going to do with the concert series. That's been a very big success for our town. Yes. And we want to make sure that we do that, set up somewhere first class for that to continue to be happening. So I was prepared to go with it tonight, but these two have brought up very good arguments tonight that made me set up and take notes. I think I'm tending to follow their lead on this right now.
Okay, thank you for those comments. Commissioner Varn, you have any?
Sure. Well, it sounds like we're not going to approve Plan 3 tonight, but I would agree with some of the other comments that we do need to do something about that shelter there. If we can somehow address that, that would be, I think, appropriate.
Town Manager Mitchell?
Thank you. If I could appreciate, number one, first of all, appreciate the feedback from the board. I think it's always helpful for management and staff to hear some consensus around some direction and feeling about a project. I want to just give a little bit of rewind and background on the genesis of this and the timing of it. Library Park came forward as a concept from management and staff really while the downtown generational plan was still under development. And the main goal was to recommend an investment in a downtown park to the board. And Library Park, given its age, seemed to be a logical spot for that investment. Since then, the downtown generational plan has been adopted. We identified Piney Woods Park as a future potential downtown central park site, gathering place, something way more grand in size and development in the future than the smaller Library Park would ever be able to be, just because of property constraints. And we've made some investment in that in the area there through the purchase. Thank you. Through the purchase of property. And so some things have changed since the original concept of doing some improvements to Library Park that I think are valid for you to factor and consider. Because the reality is that we do have more park goals than we have resources to be able to accomplish. So you really do, and we'll talk more about this at the budget workshop, but you really are going to be in a position where you're going to have to begin thinking about prioritization unless we can find the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, which might be challenging to do. And so I don't think it is unreasonable for you to be thinking along the lines that you've spoken about tonight. I will say that one excellent point that has been brought up tonight is when the downtown mixed-use project goes under construction, we will lose access to Centennial Park at that time, and that will be here sooner than later. And we will be faced with the challenge of where might Follow Me to Fuquay concerts go from there. Now, we do have some options like the Varina parking lot, but there's always been sort of this goal to be able to divide and offer events on both sides of downtown. We don't want to be Varina heavy or Fuquay heavy. We want to try to separate that. So I do think as a potential alternative, the funds that we have allocated already for some greater concept of library park improvement, if the board isn't ready for that type of investment there right now because we're not convinced that that is the right answer for that footprint, then I think a very reasonable and logical alternative would be to allocate those resources plus what other resources that we were planning to identify in the fiscal year 27 budget towards some sort of plan for activating the land that we own prior to waiting a decade when we're ready to do a grander plan. We have this land over here, and it makes sense to be able to activate that land if we have financial resources to do that. And so moving from one project to another is not an unheard of concept in government, in local government. So we can begin thinking, if that is the wishes of the board, about how we've got plans already for next year's budget to improve the property that's on the corner of Academy and Main and make it more of a gateway into our land that we already own. We could do some sort of, I think Commissioner Haynes mentioned it, some sort of nice pathway, perhaps add some historical elements of our community to that pathway that leads back to a concert lawn, if you will, a concert lawn space that we could have Follow Me to Fuquay concerts. We would dress it up. We wouldn't just make it gravel and part grass and part weeds. We would actually grade the property and dress it up and make it an event lawn if that was the desire of the board. So we can plan around that. I'm just speaking from the top of my head, but we have resources that are dedicated to this project. We can certainly reallocate that if we're not ready at this time to do some sort of bigger improvement like Concept 3. I absolutely 100% agree with you that it is not an option. The old picnic shelter must come down, and we need to replace that. And so we do have some, again, funds allocated in a project fund for the bigger project. We can take some of those to rebuild a newer picnic shelter there, perhaps add some benches or additional picnic tables, things for people to gather around to enjoy lunch or snack or just to visit. We can also look at some other low-cost potential amenities or features there that doesn't require a big grading and redevelopment of the land, but can be furniture-type elements that we could add. Maybe, bench swings out there could be an interesting element, or some other type of furniture fixture that the public might enjoy that are low-cost, but that can add in a little bit of additional element there. And then whatever resources we have left over, we can look at doing perhaps something there that solves another problem of ours that is coming forward, which is the Follow Me to Fuquay concert space. So I just wanted to provide some context that when we started this idea of investing in a downtown park, that was before we had sort of the bigger vision of what would happen across the street. Now that that's come into focus, I think it's definitely reasonable to balance the scales and weigh both of them and ask yourselves, if we can only do one because we only have a finite amount of resources, which one makes sense in the more immediate? And I think you've made a good argument for that tonight.
Well, I feel like also in the meantime, I love planning how we can entertain people and make use of the land that we have before we, because it's going to take us a while to, build this dream. So I do think it's good that we can do some things like that. And just the shelter, maybe we could think about, when they have school groups at the museums, they like to gather somewhere for lunch, and they don't go out and buy lunch. They bring their little box lunches or their bags or whatever. But if we could, there are a few things we could do in that space that would help that other park a little bit, and maybe we could be open more. I don't know. Maybe we could work on something that would support that park as well, because also I love the idea of a small playground area in this that would take some of the children that are not ready to enjoy a historic museum park, that really enjoy a playground more, right next door, where they could.
Now, I will say that if we're starting to get into the conversation of playgrounds, now we're starting to eat up, chunks of money. And so I think that if we're going to move away from a good portion of the elements that are in this concept. We just, my recommendation would be to stick to other than the shelter and the seating spaces, we stick to sort of low-cost solutions so that we leave ourselves options with the other space as well.
Okay, but I think this discussion has been very helpful.
Yes, it has. I agree. And if it's not the wishes of the town board to proceed forward with concept 3, you're on the record with giving management. I believe well, maybe you should say what your consensus is around moving forward, but we don't need a motion to approve Plan 3 if that is not the wish of the board.
Well, it sounds like what we want something done, a sophisticated design, we're not ready for that yet. Mm-hmm. Something more practical as the shelter, something that I'm hearing each commissioner has an interest in doing to further promote, public gathering, and we can do that if we repair the shelter. It doesn't have to be as sophisticated as what conceptual Plan 3 is proposing. And so do we need to get a motion to that effect? Or
Mr. Mayor, what I would suggest then is with that direction, yes, the board could make a motion to the effect of but I think I've got the direction.
You got it?
And the consensus around that. I think that my recommendation would be we have the resources in place that we can go ahead and advance that now. That doesn't have to wait. And then by April 23rd, when we come back for the budget workshop, we'll have a recommendation for how the remaining balance of those resources might be used at another space.
Okay. Would that be a need for us to see another design at all, a concept?
No, sir, not at this location.
All right. Anybody has a need to, or you just, okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry.
Commissioner.
And it also addresses, I know it was a concern at the last meeting about I don't know if they were technically considered heritage trees, but in the concept, somebody had concerns, one of the board members had a concern about the trees being removed, because in the concept, it said that all the trees would have to be removed and put new trees back. So I think that addresses this issue too by being able to move forward without taking those trees down as well.
Great.
I think that's a good thing, and that gives us shade, that gives the young people shade, because I know there's a big homeschool community that goes out there every single day. I'm usually in the barbershop and I see them going by, about 30, 40 kids going out there and they play football and have their social time. So definitely want to get that structure fixed. And if we can add the benches like Mayor Pro Tem said, or a few little things like that, or they'll be very low cost, I think that'll be something that people will be pleased with.
Great. Well, thank you all for your comments. Director Cox, does that give you enough direction as well?
It does, thank you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it so much. Thank you.
You got us talking. That's good.
Great discussion. Thank you. Now we'll move on to public hearings. Item 7A, zoning map amendment, Malden Watkins surveying. Public hearings are a time for the petitioner to present his or her request and for the public to give input and voice their favor or opposition to the request. If you wish to speak and are physically in attendance, please step forward to the podium one at a time. Provide your name and address on the registration log at the podium, and clearly state your name and address for the public record. We ask all those addressing the town board to please limit your comments to 3 minutes in order that all who wish to speak may be heard in a timely manner. And now we have the zoning map amendment, Malden Watkins Surveying, PA, 2020 West Academy Street, PIN 065687975-8-REZ 2025-16. Director Davison, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. All right, thank you.
I am submitting the agenda, abstract, and supporting documents into the official record of the town. The purpose of this agenda item is to consider a requested zoning map amendment for a total of .992 acres located at 220 West Academy Street from the town center 1, DC1, zoning district to the office and institutional conditional zoning district. The requested zoning map amendment is consistent with the 2040 Community Vision Land Use Plan and supports several of the land use plan's policies promoting downtown growth and infill development. In addition, the proposed zoning condition prohibits certain uses, ensuring the future use of the property is harmonious with the downtown context. On February 16, 2026, the Planning Board unanimously recommended approval. The suggested motion tonight is to approve REZ 2025-16, a zoning map amendment for 220 West Academy Street from the Downtown Center 1 zoning district to the office and institutional conditional zoning district, as it is reasonable and in the best interest of the public for the reasons identified by management and staff. I'm available if there are any questions.
I've got some questions. I want to make sure I'm kind of understanding what we're doing. What is the purpose for, I guess I'm first of all wondering, why does the current existing zoning not work?
Right, so the downtown zoning is a very urban zoning, and it has some additional building requirements, both facade standards and physical structure. So it would require a 2-story building. It has additional glazing and things like that that are meant to be right up against the street, be very urban, which may not fit this use very well. So luckily the land use plan sees office and institutional, right? Office use is also appropriate in the downtown area, but it would give them a little more flexibility to really have the form follow the function of the building.
What about DC2? Would it not be appropriate?
No, the downtown, both DC1 and DC2 basically have the same facade and building requirements. Okay. They used to be a little bit different, but they were kind of blended together several years ago.
But we don't have any, what would be the facade requirements?
So the facade requirements in the O&I district that they will be under will still require, we have a specific list of primary materials, so it'll still require masonry, and it will prohibit things like metal, and there will be a requirement for 30% glazing along the front, Academy Street frontage. So that just like any of our other commercial buildings.
Make sure I don't know that I understand what you mean by that. 30%
windows, glass, 30% glass.
30% glass, okay.
And that is across all of our commercial standards. That's a commercial standard in all of our commercial districts, which O&I is considered one also.
Okay.
Any other questions by board members for Planning Director Cox? Okay. The hearing is now open. Does anyone wish to speak in favor of the zoning map amendment?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, board members. I'm Wayne Malden with Malden Watkins Surveying.
Good evening.
You tonight, 134 North Main Street here. We put this rezoning together for the food pantry that you have before you tonight. Basically, the staff has covered all the areas. If you're as old as I am and been around here, this is the property is the site where KB Johnson Oil used to be. Their existing site is right next door, their renting unit. They've been fortunate enough to buy a piece of property and want to build their own facility out here. It's a need that's growing in the town. They're getting more and more services, more and more people are visiting the food pantry now, and they need to enlarge their area. As far as the DC1, DC2 stuff goes, really what we are rezoning for is we need to back the building up off of the road to give the people in the town room to get off of the street and into a parking lot. Okay. Our plan is to have, like, I don't want to say a drive-through, but like a carport shelter on the back that in bad weather, people can drive through and don't have to stand out in the rain as it is now where they have to run from the building out to the cars in the bad weather in the rain. So we're hoping to eliminate some of that. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to try to answer them.
Wayne, I'm curious. I assume you know the town has recently purchased the property
behind it,
kind of behind it.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know if that's a old railroad.
It's an old railroad right away.
That kind of separates them. But has there been any discussion between the town and the food pantry about trying to tie these properties together with cross-access or anything?
Not that I'm aware of, but I'm sure if you look at that map, as cut up as it is, there's going to be quite a bit of property that the food pantry owns that they're really not gonna be able to build or use on.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they'd be more than happy to talk with anybody at the town
Right.
about working something out.
Mr. Mayor,
Town Manager
if I
Mitchell.
could. Yeah, that is not a conversation we've had yet, Commissioner Adcock, but it is something that we plan to do after the board made its determination on the zoning, when it got to site plan phase.
Part of the reason I'm asking the questions, I don't have a problem with the one-story building. The downtown, the town has put a lot of money just in, as you know, in downtown. And one of the things that was done was we did this overlay of DC1, which requires mixed-use, multi-story development. That's not what is going to happen here. Food pantry wants, I get it, they want to do a one-story thing. I just want to make sure the town has spent taxpayer dollars to buy the property next door. Main thing I want to make sure is that there's, if we can get some cross-access, I think that would be good.
Be more than willing to talk.
And
I think it needs to be some there.
And the other thing, if you look at the downtown plan, it talks about our historic assets and things. I would like the building, whatever they build, to kind of have some nod to the, historical architecture that it fits in, so to speak. So those are kind of where my head is on it.
Okay, well, if the town and staff can put its ideas together when they come to talk with us, we'll be glad.
All I want to make sure is that the town and the food pantry are being partners and working together on it.
Right. Well, we don't want to do nothing that's going to mess up the town. I mean, they're going to be members of the town.
Yeah.
Right in downtown, and it needs to be something there that's nice and the town's proud of.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, and the town is pretty grateful to the food pantry for what they've provided over these years too. So
Right.
just working together would make sense.
Yeah, and the reason I'm asking the questions is that's kind of what I figure my job is, you know what I mean?
Well, that's fine, ask all you want.
Yeah, and I just want to make sure that my goal is to work together, and if the town can help the food pantry, I want the town to help the food pantry.
And if we can help the town, we'd be more than glad to help the town.
Okay.
Anyone else?
That's great. That's great. Partnership is so important now. It is.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, all right. Anyone else wishes to speak in favor of the zoning map amendment? Hello.
Hi, my name is Peggy Day. I'm at 3127 Jones Lake Road, and I'm one of the co-directors at the Fuquay-Varina Emergency Food Pantry. We have had our doors open for 24 and a half years, and we have served low-income families for that whole time. We currently serve over 435 families every month, and these families can come only once a month to receive food, and it's not the same families every month. I'm told that the poverty level in Fuquay-Varina is 8.8%, and with the projected growth of Fuquay-Varina, I was told the number 70,000 at one point. If you do the math, the numbers will only increase. We work out of a 1,900 square foot building with lots of nooks and crannies. We have a huge amount of requests to people to volunteer with us. We don't have the room for them. We have dozens of applications that we can't say, hey, come in and help us, because we are so cramped in the space that we're at. We are looking to build a larger facility so that we can house food without renting pods to help us, and so that more people can volunteer there. Did anyone have any questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your support.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Does anyone else wish to speak in favor of the zoning map amendment?
I'm back. Ray O'Brien, 468 Timber Meadow Lake Drive here in Fuquay. To address Commissioner Adcock's concerns, we had worked a little bit with the town and tried to even look at different places we might be able to build that might preserve that area for the park in the future. But none of it was tenable, none of it was large enough, none of it would work for our traffic flow. So we really settled on this. We need that 9.9 acres or 0.9 acres to build on for sure. We definitely want to incorporate this into the park. We don't want to interfere with the park at all. We want to be a part of the community and part of that, share our parking lot, cut through. We'd love to have a cut through ourselves because we'd like to have access from more than one direction. And if that becomes possible once the town buys more property over there, that might be something we'd very much like to look at. So yeah, we look forward to working with the town. The O&I zoning just made so much more sense because of the facade, because of the placement too close to the street for traffic flow. And the areas across the street from us were also O&I zoned. So we felt like we were even zoned in correctly because we aren't really part of downtown central. We're off to the side, the same as the bank and some other things that are there in that same area, which were zoned O&I instead of downtown center. So we thought that even the zoning should have changed in that area, and we're right there on the railroad tracks, which restricts us as well. But very much look forward to working with the town on this and being a part of the park, and maybe even get the growers market in there also as part of the park. And they've been a big supporter of the food pantry as well. So yes, I definitely look forward to working with you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Does anyone else wish to speak in favor of the zoning map amendment? Does anyone wish to speak in opposition to the zoning map amendment? The hearing is now closed. Any more discussion by the board?
So, I've just got kind of a weird. I wanted to ask the attorney about that railroad spur to see if he knows anything about it. And I guess my thought is, assuming that is railroad right of way, what are the chances of us acquiring that from the railroad? And if not, since the town owns the property next door and it's for a public park for public purposes, if there's some ambiguity about it, could the town use eminent domain to acquire it? I'm just curious if there's any insight or knowledge about it.
Right, I do have a little bit of background on the spur. I know back when KB Johnson Oil and Gas owned that property, Mr. Johnson had conversations with Norfolk Southern at the time to buy that back because he used that back when they had an oil tank there to back the train up and empty the oil out. That's what that spur was there for. But the tracks have been gone for a long time off of that, but it's still owned by the railroad. I think you probably got a better likelihood now that Corman is involved to maybe restart that conversation. I know we got nowhere with Norfolk Southern back when we had those initial conversations. And you can't exercise eminent domain against the railroad.
You cannot.
No.
Wow.
We can try.
We can try. I'm pretty sure I can. I'll study up on that, but I'm pretty sure that we don't do that.
Town Manager Mitchell, thank you, Attorney. Thank you so much.
Since I know it was brought up by Commissioner Adcock, just about cross-access and commercial facade standards. If you would, Mr. Mayor, Pam can maybe stand up and just speak to what our land development ordinance says regarding commercial facade standards and cross-access requirements. My point by asking is I think we have some provisions that would bring us to the table anyway within our code. But
right. So commercial development does require cross-access to the adjacent parcels. Generally speaking, the only development that is exempt from that is industrial. Just because industrial uses aren't necessarily good neighbors to each other, but that would be a requirement that would be triggered with a site plan submittal.
Okay.
And then as far as commercial facade standards, we have those in the O&I zoning district for commercial?
Yes.
As well, and those are identified. They're probably too many to list right here in the moment, but they are identified in our land development ordinance as well that the food pantry would have to adhere to as a part of our code.
Right, yes. The downtown are just a little more specific.
Right.
But yes, there are commercial, Article H goes into all the commercial facade standards that would be required that would include the percentage, the 30%, glazing and glass windows, doors, things like that. We have a list of permitted materials, which are very permanent, right? Our stone, brick, things like that. It also prohibits plastics, vinyls, corrugated metal, things like that. So
Okay.
we have those standards, again, that apply to all of our commercial districts, O&I included.
Okay, great.
And then,
Great.
Mayor, we could obviously, in conversation with them, work towards getting something that is in line with the character of our downtown, which it sounds to me, from their comments this evening, they would want to do as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I
Mr.
think,
Also, Mr. Mayor, just thinking and thinking it through and listening to all the thoughts, we definitely want to be a partner in this project. We're just trying, I know one thing for me, I don't mind making a motion to approve this, but just, looking long-term for, I know some of us were talking, we want to, at some point in time, we're ready to see the concept of what it possibly would look like, because that will better help us be able to figure out how we can partner and make this relationship to where we have the, egress and, different inlets and outlets, and also, just making sure that we can work together to make this to where it's a great flow. For I know y'all have the big days of Thanksgiving and Christmas, where I know oftentimes we have to use some of our law enforcement to come down and help kind of move traffic and everything. So making sure that we have that parking and that access to where we'll be able to get more people off the streets and not kind of block up West Academy 42. So, we're just ready to see the plans all together, see how we can all work together to make this a equitable project for y'all and make it be able to help the community. So that's my thoughts. I'm just ready to see a plan. I think some of us to talk. We're just ready to see what it's going to look like, so how we can incorporate to make it work together.
And I do think that if it was probably anybody else, we'd probably say, this is kind of a unusual. Usually, a lot of times when we have unusual requests to get the board feeling a little more comfortable, we'll ask for a site plan or elevations or things like that. The main thing I want to do is just make sure that the food pantry understands that we want to be partners and hopefully work together, and if there are ways we can help each other, let's do it. And I want to make sure that those lines of communication are open, because there may be opportunities where we can really help, the town can really help the food pantry, and vice versa. I don't know but I just want to make sure we're not just operating in our own little silo. There may be opportunity for us both to really benefit each other.
it's great, great. Any other comments? Commissioner Varman, Commissioner Smith?
Mr.
Well,
Mayor?
it seems like it would really be important with moving traffic for both areas, for the park and for the, I've been over there too when you all have been trying to run through the rain and deliver stuff, and everybody wants to be successful here, and I think working together is the answer.
Well, I've worked there a few times, and I've never seen any more dedicated people
Absolutely.
working there. I was just absolutely amazed at the dedication and commitment, and then the numbers of people who came through and how hard they worked to make sure that those individuals received what they wanted with dignity. I thought that was so important, so I just want to thank you for that. What is your pleasure? Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve RAZ 2025-16, the zoning map amendment for 220 West Academy Street from the Downtown Center 1 zoning district to the office and institutional conditional zoning district, as it is reasonable and is in the best interest of the public for the reasons identified by management and staff.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Planning Director. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
Next item of business is give me just a minute here.
It's the consent agenda?
Yeah, the
Consent agenda.
consent agenda. What is the board's pleasure on the items on the consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda items 8A through 8K as presented and recommended.
Second.
So you hear a second? It's been moved and second. All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Next, we move to item 10, administrative reports. Item 10A, South Park Community Center Conceptual Design Selection. Director Cox.
Thank you, Mayor. The purpose of this agenda item is to consider a selection of a preferred conceptual design for South Park Community Center. The South Park Community Center Design and Renovation Initiative is outlined in the 2024 Comprehensive System-Wide Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Resources Master Plan, with design funding allocated in FY26, operating budget and construction funding planned in FY27. In partnership with HH Architecture, town staff developed 2 conceptual renderings for improvements to the facility located at 820 South Main Street. These concepts aim to enhance aesthetics, improve building circulation, upgrade acoustics, elevate the user experience, provide additional program space, expand the fitness area, and establish a clearly defined main entrance to the building. These concepts were presented to the Town Board of Commissioners on February 17th and subsequently shared on Let's Talk FE for public feedback. A total of 82 responses were received, with approximately 74% favoring Concept 2. The concepts were also reviewed by the Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Resources Advisory Board on February 9th and the Fuquay-Varina Teen Council Executive Board on February 16th. Both boards unanimously selected Concept 2 as the preferred option. Town management staff recommend Concept 2 as the preferred design because it meets the renovation goals by expanding the fitness room, improves circulation and user experience throughout the building, clearly defines the main entrance, leverages additional program space, and enhances acoustics and customer service at the front desk by relocating the front desk, creating a dedicated lobby, and adding a gym lobby to help isolate sound. As a fiscal note, the town board allocated a budget of $200,000 in FY26 for the design of the South Park Community Center renovations. Of this amount, $44,900 has been committed to the facility assessment and conceptual design phase. Additional design funding is expected to be required on the scope associated with Concept 2. Construction cost estimates will be refined during the design process, and funding will be identified in FY27 budget. The recommendation by motion is to approve Concept 2 as a recommended final conceptual design for South Park Community Center project as presented and recommended, and I'll be happy to answer any questions the board might have.
Any questions?
Mr. Mayor, Director Cox, after reading survey responses as well as Facebook responses on the town of Fuquay-Varina, can you address the need for the change of the flooring in South Park? I think that's been a question that's came up a lot, addressing that.
I will speak to at the phase that we currently are. Right now, we are in a concept phase, so we have not started to identify final finishes, what kind of flooring we're going to have in the gymnasium or in other spaces, what kind of fixtures, plumbing fixtures, light fixtures, wall colors. All of those will be determined and identified through the design phase.
Any other questions for Director Cox?
Mr. Mayor, I have one quick question. I think I understood him to say that we had allocated $200,000 for the design phase of it, and you've spent about $45,000
we have
so far, but you anticipated more to be spent as you refined the Concept 2 design. Is it still going to stay within the $200,000 for the design phase?
We will most likely need to adjust that budget to align with the scope of work that's being designed.
Okay. All right.
I think it's very unlikely that it will stay within that, and we are working through that with the fiscal year 27 budget.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Just as added context, when we approved the initial design fee, it was for the initial conceptual design phase with the intent to negotiate a market competitive fee or scope and fee that's a lot better aligned with scope when a preferred concept is selected, and that will be our intent.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? What is your pleasure? Do I hear a motion?
Mayor, I move that we approve Concept 2 as the recommended final conceptual design for the South Park Community Center project as presented and recommended.
Second.
It's been moved and second that we approve Concept 2 as recommended. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
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 Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next item of business is our manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. A few things
Yes,
to
sir.
brief the board on this evening. The town of Fuquay-Varina and the city of Raleigh, as many of you know, co-hosted the annual Teen Council Team Building and Leadership Conference on Saturday, February 28th. That was held at the Hilltop Needmore Town Park Community Center. Teen councils and advisors from 9 communities participated, including Fuquay-Varina, Raleigh, Wilson, Rocky Mount, Lake Norman, Winston-Salem, Fayetteville, Salisbury, and Hickory. And we were the host, and it was a great turnout. I think, Commissioner Haynes, you might have been over there for a period of time.
Whole day.
A whole day. Saw a cooker out there, I think.
Yep.
The event brought together 93 teens and over 30 advisors who engaged in a variety of Mission Impossible themed team building games designed to connect youth from across North Carolina. Feedback from the participants and the visitors was highly positive. Of course, they loved our new Hilltop Needmore Town Park Community Center facility. The conference's success was supported by more than 10 full-time Parks and Recreation and Cultural Resources staff, along with Commissioner Haynes, who provided a grilled lunch featuring burgers, hot dogs, fries, and snacks. Pelicans also contributed an afternoon treat for all attendees. It was a great event, another sign of just continued growth and strength within our teen council. A lot of interest here in our community. We're very proud of that. Very proud of our staff that serves as advisors for that. I wanted to thank you, Commissioner Haynes, for your involvement as well. Summer camp registration for the Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Resources Department opened on Saturday, February 21st at 7 a.m. All 9 weeks of camp at both South Park Community Center and the Hilltop Needmore Town Park Community Center filled in under 2 hours, totaling 648 participants. And due to the program's popularity, eager families began lining up as early as 3 a.m. to secure their spots. It's like Christmas shopping, it sounds like almost. So, very, very fortunate to have a popular program, and our Parks and Rec staff do a great job of offering a popular program. The Arts Center is gearing up for performances by Bachelors of Broadway on the 20th, and the hometown favorite Gerald Parker Jazz Orchestra on the 28th. Performing artist, educator Kevin Spencer will be at the Arts Center for a residency beginning March 23rd, working with special needs staff, families, and students from Fuquay-Varina and the surrounding area. Anyone interested in being included can contact the Arts Center for details. Another great series of programs offered by our Arts Center. James Jordan and Brian Kraft from the Street Department traveled for an in-depth street sweeper maintenance training. This training provided in-depth and hands-on training for critical maintenance tasks that prolong the life of street sweepers. As you know, our street sweepers hit the town streets, and they oftentimes can get grit and grime and the mechanics of the street sweeper, which can deteriorate the life of the sweeper. And so to understand the maintenance of that and how to prolong the life and the expense of having to purchase street sweepers is critical to our program. And so we want to thank those two members of our team for going and getting that training and education. The second annual Citizens Fire Academy kicks off tomorrow evening and will take the participants through a behind-the-scenes look at the fire department over the next 7 weeks. The fire department staff and the new recruits are excited and ready to get started. We would like to congratulate Andrew Spain and Reese Register, who have completed all of the necessary requirements and have been promoted from Firefighter 1 to Firefighter 2, and Battalion Chief Dustin Grimes, his wife Melanie, and big brother Luke welcomed a new recruit to the fire department family on March 3rd with the birth of Blake Myatt, and all are doing very well, so we want to congratulate them. Officer Thomas Bruno in the police department took his oath of office on March 5th. Officer Bruno brings valuable experience to the department, and we are pleased to welcome him aboard. Carmen Harper began her internship with the Fuquay-Varina Police Department in February. She is a senior at North Carolina Central University, where she is completing her bachelor's degree in criminal justice. Originally from Simpsonville, South Carolina, Carmen is eager to pursue a career in law enforcement, so we want to welcome her aboard. The police department was recently honored by the North Carolina Special Olympics, receiving an award for placing fourth in state fundraising, and we're proud to announce that the department raised $81,791 for Special Olympics here in North Carolina. On February 20th, our police department participated in the second annual Hoopin' with a cop event at Herbert Akins Road Middle School, created by Officer Derek Wilson. This event has been highly successful in building positive relationships between police officers and the youth in our community. And the 9th annual Citizens Police Academy kicks off this Thursday with 20 participants who will learn about a variety of law enforcement topics and operations over the next 11 weeks. In our inspections department, Paul Wise passed his Level 2 Mechanical State exam last week, so we want to congratulate him on that career achievement. On February 26th, the Town of Fuquay-Varina Engineering Department had the pleasure of teaching nearly 40 first-grade students at South Lakes Elementary School about stormwater pollution and simple ways they can keep Fuquay-Varina clean. The town wants to extend our sincere thanks to the South Lakes Elementary School staff for inviting us to and share this important message with their engaged and bright students there. So that was both fun for the kids and for our staff. Since service started January 5th, the MicroLink bus service has provided 2,135 rides and covered 10,765 miles. It has a 4.9 star rating out of 5, and Wake Tech remains the most requested destination. Our public utilities, planning, and engineering directors attended the annual Triangle Community Coalition meeting on February 25th. Mayor William Harris passed, employee, we have two, excuse me. You didn't pass your grade 2 collections operator certification, but employee William Harris did.
I did not.
And is quickly progressing through the North Carolina Rural Water Association's apprenticeship program.
It says employee.
It did, and I thought that was a mistake. Members of, Mayor, you're going to have to study a little harder. Members of staff, management, and the FVDA Board of Directors will be attending the annual Main Street Conference this week in New Bern. We are narrowing down a list of final candidates to interview for the Economic Development Director position. Our Human Resources staff attended the annual Human Resources Conference in North Carolina Conference in Raleigh this past week. It was a great educational opportunity where they learned more about topics such as health and wellness, AI with a human touch, the fun side of integrity, career progression, and leading organization change, all while building relationships with other HR professionals. During the conference, our very own Robin Savage was elected as Treasurer-elect of the North Carolina chapter, and Karen Weiner was awarded an academic scholarship. She will be graduating later this spring. Our Safety and Risk Manager, David Taylor, has rolled out the mandatory annual HR training to all departments, and employees have 60 days to complete this training. Topics include bystander intervention, cybersecurity, spill prevention, core principles of customer service, hazardous communication, and bloodborne pathogens. And our HR Director, Wendy Moody, assisted Nash County by participating as an assessor in their hiring process for an HR Director position last week. And finally, the Finance Department has been significantly involved in budget. That's the focus for these last couple of weeks, and will remain the focus until our budget workshop on April 23rd. In your agenda materials, you'll find the financial quarterly report for the second quarter of fiscal year 26. Please familiarize yourself with that, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact myself or either Mark Matthews or Mark Stevens, our Finance Director. Also, our annual Easter egg hunt will be Saturday, March 28th at 10 a.m. at Fleming Loop Park. Fingers crossed for good weather. And the FVDA will also host their downtown candy hop that same day from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. in downtown. So lots of candy. Make sure our citizens buy toothpaste and toothbrush for your kids. All right, and with that said, Mr. Mayor, that's all my comments tonight. I'm happy to answer any questions that you or the town board may have.
Any questions to the mayor, to the manager, I'm sorry. Any questions for the manager? If not, Commissioner Haynes, any comments?
Yes, sir. I guess we're looking forward to Target opening this week, by the end of this week. So a lot of people, it's a buzz around that. Everybody's asking every day, see all the cars in the parking lot, what's going on? Can we go in? So excited to see that opening up this week.
Right.
Just so many things that happened today. Definitely, we being able to make sure that our amazing person gets Dash to take home, and you know that was awesome to see. That just does your heart good seeing stuff like that, where we can, you know, keep Dash in town and everything like that. And his family loves Dash, so that's just amazing we'll be able to do that. I had a great time at Herbert Akins Elementary School for their Read Across America. We had a great time in the kindergarten class reading a book about caring. That was always a great time. The kids, they love giving you hugs when you read good. So I read a little, I guess I read kind of good because they came up running, giving hugs. The teacher was like, they usually don't do this. So I was like, well, that was a good thing. I definitely want to thank the Public Utilities, Water and Sewer. I actually spent about half a day with them recently out. They were outside my house, and I went out just asking them. They were going through fixing the pipe, and they talked about how the smoke testing helped so much to find those infrastructure issues that we had, and they've been repairing them all over town. So they definitely gave me a lot of input and feedback. So that was great. Spent time with them, had a good time. We were out there laughing and having a good time as well, but they work very hard. So definitely thank you for all they do. One of the biggest things I've been seeing just this week, and the weather was been nice, is just seeing how vibrant downtown has been. If you've ridden through downtown this last weekend, because the weather was beautiful, there were so many people out walking. You know, we have new businesses open and people are going in those. You see it. So you see that the future is bright in our town, and see when we start to add our mixed-use facility next door and all this stuff, where it's going to just become more and more vibrant, where everybody's going to be walking more. And that's why I was so adamant on making sure we have a place for our Follow Me to Fuquay festival and everything else, to make sure we keep that vibrancy going on in our downtown. Last thing, definitely, town manager talked about it, but I just want to applaud the Parks and Recreation staff for the hard work they did giving a first-class teen council conference. Many of the people said this actually was the best conference they ever been to, which was amazing to hear that this was our first time doing it. And all of the activities actually were done and put on and actually orchestrated by the teen council. I was confused with some of the activities, but we figured it all out. We had paper, rock, scissors tournaments and everything else. I had a great time with our special events coordinator out cooking hot dogs and hamburgers and turkey burgers and black bean burgers. You know, a lot of these kids have all this other stuff you can't eat regularly anymore. But we had a great time. But like I said, they put on a first class from top to bottom. The staff was just amazing. I mean, they worked hard. I mean, they were there early. They were there earlier than I was. I think some of them got there at 6 o'clock that morning. And they are, you know, we want to, I'm putting this out there, we need to get True by Hilton built so we don't have to co-host anymore, and we can host this conference, because they are ready to come back to the town of Fuquay-Varina, and they love the facility. They got tours all day from the advisors walking around and seeing it, and Raleigh was very impressed. They took it back to some of their directors, showing what Fuquay-Varina has down here. So definitely hats off to Parks and Recreation staff and our amazing teen council. And also had a great time at Coffee with a Cop. Got to meet some of the management, the regional director of Bojangles while we were there at Coffee with a Cop. So that was great to make that connection as well while we were there last week. So that's all, Mr. Mayor.
All right, great. Commissioner Adcock, let's hear it.
I don't have any additional comments.
Well, how do you plan to collect that $1 for Dash?
I'm leaving that up to the finance folks.
You all heard that, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Charlie. Appreciate it. Commissioner Smith.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. I was out of town a good part of since the last meeting, so I missed out on a few of the ribbon cuttings, but I did want to take a minute tonight just to recognize the police department's Explore Post and the work that they did. That's something that was around even back when I was the chief, and I got to travel to Gatlinburg on multiple occasions and watch the competitions, and it was just neat to see how many young people were still involved in that program. I will tell one story. I was at the first time we ever got a first place plaque. I was there, and it was in the accident reconstruction investigation, just like your second place. And I was wanting us to win one so bad. Fire department had won several, and I wanted us to get one. And when they named that we had won that one, I didn't really realize how excited I was going to get. And even at my age, I jumped up out of the seat like I was at a basketball game. And I think everybody in the fire department sitting behind us laughed at me, but I thought it was that exciting to me. But it is a great program where we've seen some people come along and join our department. I think Chief Onstock got to hire the first one that came out of the Explore Post. They were all young when I left, and you grabbed one of them at least, but several of them. That's been nice. Even my grandson went through the program, went through the competition. Although he went to the other side, went to the fire department, he still, I think, had that public service love that he got hanging out with the Fuquay-Varina PD. And the last thing I'll say, it's just remarkable to see two of the people, Lieutenant Kane and Lieutenant Hodges, that's been involved with this thing going way back to my tenure, to Chief Onstock's tenure, and now into Chief Smith's tenure. That's just dedication by some of our police officers to invest in the young people in our community. And just to see those two guys still here doing the same thing with the young people in our community, just as, I don't know, it's just exciting to see, and it's just rewarding to see those guys continue to work with the young folks.
Right.
So that's a little bit longer than I wanted to go, but I was just really excited to see all of you out here tonight. Good job. I appreciate all y'all doing over there.
Thank you for those comments. Commissioner Voren.
Sure. So it's been quite a while, I guess, since our last meeting, and so quite a few events have happened since then. I'll just kind of flip through the calendar here and try and remind myself of everything that's been going on. But see, on Friday, February 20th, Assistant Manager Matthews and I attended the regional day at the Central Pines Regional Council. There was just a lot of good information there about kind of growth in the area, including the history of RTP and how the Triangle had really, how we had kind of grown from a tobacco state to now a very industrial and very research-oriented community and area around here. One of the talks of that day was about data centers, and of course data centers are a very controversial issue these days. Anytime they're brought up, everyone says, no, we don't want that here. And it was kind of interesting. The speaker, it was from Loudoun County, Virginia, where that's outside of D.C., and of course they had, tons and tons of data centers there to support kind of the federal government infrastructure. But I think what I took away from that was that he was saying that we need to start thinking maybe of data centers as kind of an infrastructure thing, because we all use our phones, and we all use, we got all sorts of tech right in front of us here, and so it's he kind of pointed out the irony of how people are complaining about data centers online on Facebook, and this is what's supporting and facilitating those arguments. So that that was a really good thing, and we got to meet lots of people there as well, a couple of county commissioners, and thank them for supporting some of the grant money for the parks as well. Okay, so I think actually a couple days after that was the Black History Stakeholders panel discussion, and I want to thank all the panelists who were there, including Mayor Pro Tem. It was very powerful to see, and there was some, of course, painful history that was discussed by the panel, but I think it was so important that people see that, from people who lived it, and I want to thank them for, going back and remembering and presenting and sharing that with us, because, it couldn't have been easy necessarily to have to go through and do that, but it's so important, to hear what the people who had lived through that had to say. You can watch documentary after documentary. It's just not the same seeing it in person. And I think the big thing I took away from that you know, there were some very powerful stories, and the immediate reaction, you know, can be very different from when you reflect on what was said. And so I want people to take a moment and maybe whenever you hear something powerful like that, don't, you know, try not to react immediately, but reflect. I think it's important to take that time, and you know, you get more out of it, and it's, you know, it was a great event, and I want to thank the Art Center for putting that on. Let's see. Central Pines again. I went to a new board member orientation, so Mr. Mayor, you had appointed me to the as a board member for that, and so it was good to meet some of those guys up there. And I think our next meeting is in April, so I'll be able to discuss that then. And then, of course, Beans and Bumpers Chili Cook-Off. That was a great event last Saturday. It was nice and hot out there. I want to thank the police out there. I saw Chief out there. I think I got there at the end of the day, so he had been standing out in the sun, and just so thanks to, of course, everyone. Thanks to everyone who was, of course, who cooked all that chili, and the vendors who were out there, and of course, thanks to the officers who spent the day and keeping it safe. And actually, I was able to talk to some of the sanitation workers out there who was helping keep it clean, so thanks to them too. I think that brings us up to today, and I think I'll conclude there.
Well, thank you. Appreciate your comments. You've done a lot this past month.
Yes,
Thank you.
We did have a long time between
Yeah.
that last meeting and now,
Yeah.
and the Arts Center has been on fire. They had so many things going on.
Mayor Pro Tem Gardner, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, I jumped in before I got recognized. I'm sorry.
Well,
I apologize. It was out of order.
no, that's okay.
I'm excited.
It's good to be excited.
This was an exciting meeting tonight, and then it's just been crazy busy with all the wonderful things going on in this town. I enjoyed the Read Across America. I filled in for the mayor, and I got a special needs class, and they were precious.
Wonderful.
And I came out and I said, "Don't you have another one I can go read to?" And they said no, they had filled all the places, but they would call me next year.
Great.
So
Good.
they'll still have room for you, I'm sure. But I'm glad I made that list. The Art Center has had the Johnny Cash experience, which was pretty amazing, and Little Women musical. So many talented people and beautiful voices in that presentation. It was really, really wonderful. And then I would like to thank the stakeholders group, the Black History Month stakeholders group, for inviting me to be part of that presentation on the Sunday at the Arts Center. It was an amazing experience. It was conversations that we should have had long ago, but now we've started them, and a lot of young people that had lots of questions and wanted to see more and hear more. So I've gotten just numerous texts and comments from people that just thought it was pretty amazing. And that group of people Cassandra Flowers, Katina Bunn, I shouldn't try to name names because now I can't remember. The gentleman who was the moderator, it was just an amazing afternoon, and I'm glad we did it. Will that be something that will be available on the town website? Was there any kind of? Oh, okay, good, because I think something like that. It's like you said, looking back on, being able to put some perspective on something like that, I think is helpful. I look forward to going back and see it myself in totality. But it was beautifully crafted. The program was beautifully crafted. So it started and then it started with some painful things, and then it just ended with a lot of good feelings about how far we've come. Still got a ways to go, but it was, and the mayor knocked it out of the ballpark with his final comments. It was just a nice day, and another wonderful accomplishment for that committee that's done such a great job. I think that's just about. There was another jazz concert. That's the other thing. Christian Tambor, who a few years ago came to Maureen, and tell me if I'm wrong, Maureen, but he suggested that he could build a jazz interest in a jazz program in Fuquay-Varina if she would give him a chance. And he fills that auditorium pretty much every time he comes now. And everyone is different, but they're all excellent. They're just, and it's a different group of people that I see there every time, but it's still just about full. So that was really good too. So we just got to keep all these good things coming. It's been wonderful this last few weeks, and we even threw a primary in there. Did something political in the middle of it.
Thank you for all of your comments. I'm just going to do a list of places where I've been, and I just want to thank Teresa Wilder for doing such an excellent job of keeping me pointed where I need to be. When I show up, I said, all I do is just go where Teresa sends me. And people are surprised. So thank you, Teresa. And Susan, thank you for your help tonight with the comments on the state of the town address. I really appreciate your help. Over the past few weeks, I've been pretty busy, and I'll just outline a few things that I've done. I don't even remember the dates because it's been like that, so y'all just bear with me. I attended a panel discussion for the new mayors of Wake County. It was sponsored by the Triangle Coalition. I also attended the Essentials in Government in Chapel Hill, 2 days of training for elected officials and mayors. I felt like I needed a refresher, and so I did that for 2 days, and then Campo training, trying to learn the ins and outs of transportation, and I'm part of the executive committee in the training, learning all the acronyms and learning the connection between the Department of Transportation and our future, and how those relationships are so crucial to what we do as a town and how we grow. I did that. Also attended my first Wake County mayor's dinner, which was held at Ray's restaurant. And then I had an opportunity to attend Pieces of Gold, sponsored by the Wake County Schools, which is just outstanding. I mean, over 900 young children performed at the Marietta Martin Center. It was just a great, great night. And then, of course, participated in the Black History program. And probably one of the highlights this past week, I met with Sheriff Willie Rowe. And he had so many positive comments to say about the Fuquay-Varina Police Department that he was very, very, very impressed. And I shared this feedback with Chief Smith. He was very, very impressed with the recent response and the professional handling of some very serious issues that occurred here in Fuquay-Varina. And he's very excited about collaborating even more, and he understands that we have the commitment of a very professional law enforcement department here in Fuquay-Varina, and he has a great deal of respect for our department. Also attended, of course, the swearing in. That's already been mentioned about Officer Bruno, and I attended the Coffee with the Cop, and Mayor's Association, which was held in Pinehurst last month. I did that, and then the beans, bumpers, chili, cookout. I went through there, and I just got enthralled with the cars. I mean, good gracious of life. Oh, I'm sorry. But anyway, they were really cool. It was just great. It was a great day. Everything was nice, and I just had an enjoyable time. And then tonight, the culmination with the opportunity to deliver the state of the town. I was just elated that I had the opportunity to do that and had the support, and to be part of this town at this time and this stage in my life. It's really been an exciting time. And I'm elated when I come into the building, because when I see the staff, everybody's up and they're smiling, and the morale is great. I think that contributes overall to the management here in the town, and it's just great to see that. And it spills over into the community and the way people come in when they are served. So I just want to thank you for that. Those are my comments, and Town Manager, I know we have a closed session tonight.
Yes, sir. Closed session is recommended pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143, 318, 11A5, property acquisition.
Do I have a motion that we go into closed session?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. We'll go into
Aye.
closed
Aye.
session. Y'all have a nice night. Thank you so much for attending.